Hi there, this is Cryptid, and this is my very first video for this channel. I'm doing a BJD unboxing today of Dream Valley's Griffin Dragon. The name is kind of confusing if you stop and think about it for more than 5 seconds, but that's the name they chose, so here you go. I ordered this back in January from Alice's Collections. I ordered him in white resin with no face up because I do have my own plans for how to do him up. I have a gold vein idea of which I'm hoping to make some videos about once I get the proper materials and, most importantly, get some practice in because it's going to involve gold leaf. But without further ado, let's go ahead and crack open that box. Okay, and here's the actual unwrapping of the wings, along with some music to hopefully make it a little bit less boring. As you can see, these were wrapped up pretty tightly, and overall, I am pretty happy with the packaging job they did on them to keep them safe. Uh, but I can see the wings themselves possibly being a bit of an issue down the road just because it does feel pretty delicate. If people don't have these in very safe places where they can tip or there can be pet incidents, I can see these guys, whenever they do appear on the secondhand market, possibly showing up with some battle damage. Right there, you can see one of the wing talons on the top there. That is on a ball joint, and I'll be demonstrating that later on in the video that it does flex around. I didn't try to stress anything with his wing joints too much, just out of an abundance of caution. But that is jointed, so you should be able to get some fun little claw movements with those. Uh, the wing main section that I'm unwrapping right here, it is in the multiple pieces that can fan out pretty nicely. As far as the actual span, the guide from Dream Valley listed it as 48.5 centimeters. Measured with a yardstick, it's a little bit under that, but that's probably the difference between measuring with measuring tape versus using a yardstick. Very carefully unwrapping right here because, as you can see, one of those wing spurs actually punched straight through the foam wrap right there. So the last thing I wanted to do was press my luck, give it a tug, and have a repair that I immediately had to do. You can also see right there part of the back sculpting for where it will hook onto his back with magnets. You'll be able to see later on in the video that there is actually sculpting on the underside of that too, which is a nice little surprise. Careful snipping and tearing. I made sure that I used my smallest scissors on hand for unwrapping these just because I didn't want to do anything that I would regret flailing around with a full-size pair of scissors. And there we go. It's been freed. And here's an attempt, as you can see, to try to show the scale of these things, as well as some of the wing movement. But they're pretty large. Obviously, because I got the 1/4 scale, this is definitely not maybe quite as big as some people might have been expecting just due to the size of the model that was used, but they're still pretty hefty. Okay, as I was saying, the size of these may be a little bit smaller than people expected, but this is my attempt to show it against a 1/4 scale resin sol doll. As you can see, not huge, but not tiny either. Okay, and here's the underside of his magnetized back plate. I've got this on pause so you can actually see the detail of that sculpting because I found it to be a really nice surprise. It's also got those magnets on there to allow for the easy removal and addition of the wings, which I think is a huge blessing compared to, say, having to fight with S-hooks, which would just be kind of a nightmare, I think, given the size of these things, even at the 1/6 scale. Here's an attempt to show the full breadth of the wings against the box. As you can see, they are quite wide and difficult to get a full shot of, and some very careful moving of the individual wing plates. I think overall this is probably the best way to do flexible wings because I've never seen anyone actually do them with fabric in between the wing struts. There's that dew claw motion that I mentioned earlier. Just a little bit of a close-up on both of those. Nice sculpting overall on this. I'm really happy with the design of the wings. Especially even the parts that don't flex towards the bottom, with that kind of the little struts that stick out. I really like those. It's got a neat look to them. Hey, and here's another angle of the wings. Unfortunately, the fact that the resin is still white makes it hard to see, but on the tops of these wings, towards that edge where it all connects, you can actually see there's really nice sort of texture detail. And, well, you would be able to see it if I was not still figuring out the best way to show off these monsters. This is in sort of that set back position, a little bit more folded up as far as close together. You can see it better as I tilt it right here. Overall, the flexibility of the wings is really nice. I think there's a lot of really good posing options with these things. So it's day 2, and I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is the box arrived. The bad news is, uh, it's the wrong size. As you can see in these photos I've got to share, the thing is, I got the box, I was unboxing him, and while I'm unboxing him, I'm thinking, boy, this seems awful small. I know that the model they used with him in the photos was fairly petite, but still, I'm pretty petite, and this seems awful small. So I start getting worried and I pull out my measuring tape, my sewing measuring tape, so it's soft and easy to fit around the curves, and the measurements don't match up like they ought to. And then my friend, who I've been talking with this whole time, filling her in on the unboxing, she asked the all important question: are the hands articulated? And the answer is no. So what I've done now is I've gotten all the photos together. I've contacted Alice's because that's who I ordered through, and told them that I got the right size wings, but the wrong size body. And also this 1/6 body I got does have a snapped off neck spine towards the base, the very last part of the neck. I'll show this in the series of photos right after this clip here, but yeah, it was an interesting unboxing experience. Let me tell you that, especially given that I had also last year received from Lutz a Zuzu delf that turned out to be too tall. So now I've gone too big, too small, and hopefully we can figure out how to get just the right body size for this guy. So there you have it. Part 1, dude, where's my body? Probably, as my friend told me, going off to some other person who's now looking at that absolute behemoth going, where the hell am I going to put this? I'll keep you updated on once I actually get the proper body, and I hope to have part 2 up sometime eventually, with resin production being what it is. We'll see. Until next time, bye.